Chocom simply means Commonwealth Heads of the Government meetings. Chocom right here. So this meeting, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. All the countries that were once colonized by the British that fall under the Commonwealth. Yeah, what's the head of the Commonwealth? This is UK. That's the Queen of England, or the chairperson. Okay, after the meetings, many visitors came to see the source of the river and the sea. It was brought by the government, not individuals. It's a government like this. And reason is that many visitors came to see the source and Prince Charles. That's why we have this here.
Who discovered the source of River Nile?
Is it the source of the River Nile is black, like you and I.
What about
the natives?
What about the story of
John Hanning Speke became the first white man to see among the races. The first white man to see, not to discover. Remember, these are two different things. When you discover your things, then I also come and see. These are two different persons. That's not discovery. The blacks discovered the source. John Speke publicized it, put it in writing. John Huntington Speke became the publicist. Okay?
Okay,
yes.
I'm okay with that.
I hope you got me.
Yeah.
Good.
When did he do that?
That was on 28th July 1862.
1862.
Please. Yeah.
I was a very small boy by then.
You weren't there.
You are a very small boy by then.
Okay, we have this. We have some writings right here. This writing talks about the flow of the river from the source. What do we mean the source, and what do we call the source? We call that point the source is where actually it's because it's the point where the river starts its flow all the way from Uganda to Egypt in the Mediterranean. We call it the source because the springs, part of the water that flows to Egypt is from underground as the springs. We call that the source because the Lake Victoria funnels its excess 70% join into the 30% from underground at that very spot. That's why we call it the source of the River Nile, because it's a point where the Lake Victoria funnels its excess, it's a point where the springs come out from underground, and it's a point where the river starts its flow from Uganda to Egypt in the Mediterranean Sea. And that's where we take you with the boat. To reach the source of the Nile, you need to take a ride in the exact spot where the starting flow of the river is the source, and that's where we take you with the boat. Please, these are motorized boats, engine boats, and with the life jackets.
Even if we had the doors.
Before visiting here, should I appease my ancestors?
How? Did you annoy them?
Yeah, you see, I'm in a foreign land.
No. Uganda is safe. We call ourselves Pearl of Africa because of many things. Hospitality. We don't have those issues of Jews. Some parts of ashes were immersed in the river Nile. Gandhi lived in South Africa for about 20 years. So that's when he heard of the longest river flowing all the way from Uganda to Egypt in the Mediterranean. Having heard about this, that the longest river in the world starts from Uganda and flows northwards until Egypt. By writing the will, presented that will to the government of Uganda, requesting for some parts of the ashes to be immersed in the river. Yeah, why did he choose? He said, this is the longest river in the world and the river shed in the world, that whoever drinks from the Nile would acquire the spirit from him. The spirit he meant was peace and non-violence. In 1948, when he died, of course for them they don't bury like we do in Africa. Yeah. For them they cremate and so. When he died, they burnt him and brought some parts of the ashes, was immersed at the source of the river Nile, and then the remaining ashes had to be immersed in the river Ganges in India. So those are the two rivers globally where these ashes were distributed. River Ganges and River Nile, Africa and Asia. So that's the logic. There's nothing big that he did to Ugandans. There's no strong significance between Gandhi and Uganda.
So guys, I'm getting up to get on the boat so that I may discover the source of the River Nile. Wow.
Yes, tell us something about the source of the River Nile.
What's up my good people? The African Moran again. And I'm in Jinja. And I'm boarding a boat. I want to discover the source of the River Nile.
So guys, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like. Make sure you share because I'm going to show you something amazing. So this is how the place generally looks like. I'm heading for a short trip so that I might discover what really is there in the source of the River Nile. Wow. Now these are the springs of River Nile. You see? That place over there. Over there. That's a spring. Water is coming from underground. 70% of the water in the River Nile comes from the lake. 30% comes from those springs. As you can see them. There's so many.
Yes, you wanna taste it? The springs come from beneath the rocks to the surface. I don't know exactly, but I know they come from underground.
Yes, I want to taste the water
Safi.
from the source.
Safi, safi. How is it?
Very nice.
All right.
Very fresh.
This is the River Nile, and the Nile is separated by the two. Actually, the Nile separates two kingdoms. The kingdom where we're from is Busoga. That land you see is Buganda. Buganda. Buganda is the land. Buganda. Busoga is this way as well. So the Nile separates these two. This stone, there was just a tree. Just a tree, and then from that tree to where you see there were some waterfalls here. That was Ripon Falls by then. The Ripon Falls. That submerged when the construction of the dam in 1947. In 1947, it submerged. Because they were building the dam by then. We are still on the Nile. Not until we go on the island, we shall dock on the island, come out of the boat, you see the source. We get back into the boat and go to the Lake Victoria. Or again,
Why are we not charging through the South Sudan?
oh, in the middle?
Yeah.
No, it is the current.
Yeah.
The current is there are no crops.
How deep is this place?
It's quite deep. Around here can be about 80 meters deep. 80? 80. So those are cottages that are called Living Waters Initiative. Actually, it's up there. Those are cottages for the tourists. It's one of the most expensive ones we do have around.
How much do they
It's
cost?
175 USD. Yeah. That is Now, in Khartoum, from Khartoum actually, the water is very mild. There's nothing that disturbs. But from Uganda all the way to South Sudan, you can't joke with the river. By the way, in Uganda, there are so many waterfalls in Uganda. We had Ripon Falls, we had Naluvale Falls, Owen Falls, Bujagali Falls, Itanda Falls, Kalagala Falls, where I come from. And then there is Isimba Falls.
And which is the biggest?
The biggest Naluvale Falls. Now we have like Karuma Falls, Masishon Falls. There are really many falls, and that's why we call it Qâhira. A river full of waterfalls.
Oh.
Omuga is the river, Qâhira is the fall. So locally translated as a river full of waterfalls. With many dams. Power dams.
A Rastaman was living over there.
The Rastafarian point. People are there. That's it's a place for.
It's a holy place.
Holy place. Rastafarian point. It's called the Wooden. It's for the vibes. And like for the vibes. They are there.
If you want to smoke weed, just
anyone who wants to do it, that's the only place, gazetted place for that.
wow.
Yeah.
So we can do that before.
If Wajakoya comes here, we'll be very happy. Wow, some birds are here.
Yeah. So those are cormorants down. And then we also have the gooses. There's some Egyptian gooses here. See this one?
Yeah, the famous goose.
This one was mine. This is moving. And due to the too much rise of the water, I ran away. No, it's not moving. It's not moving. So my brothers, these are the springs. I don't know whether you can really observe it very well. But we are going to observe it. We are going to stand and then we are going to see it very well. Those are the springs right there. You can observe it well. 30% of the water that flows to Egypt is from underground in spring before. The whole of the 70% is from this side, Lake Victoria. Hiyo ni ziwa, hii ni mto.
Wapi ni ziwa?
Ziwa ni Victoria. Mto ni Nile.
So this one is Lake Victoria.
Ni ziwa. Hiyo ni ziwa Victoria. Hii ni Black Nile. Huko sasa tutaenda huko.